So we've talked over and over how, clients connect to servers. We've talked about how clients send requests to servers and load balancer is a middleman that takes those requests and shares to servers. This is when the requests coming from the web server, from users on the internet trying to log into applications. We've talked about we as SRE users, we as cloud support engineers connecting to the back end to troubleshoot the server. We talked about how requests comes in from clients, laptop, phones. Firefox is a client that we use to connect to the internet to send requests. It goes to load balancer. We even saw some commands. We saw Geico.com has a load balancer domain name where your request goes there, and then it goes behind the web server. And then when you're browsing the server, when you want to buy insurance, that's when your request actually leaves the web server and goes to the application load balance, and then it goes back here. They charge your card, issue you an ID card. They have an API integration. We'll talk more about this. That goes out and check your DMV records, check your address against the post office, make sure it's correct, check your credit card, check your credit score, and then all those results are sent back to the server. If everything comes back clean, they issue you an insurance ID card, and then you become an insured driver, and then they save your information in the database. In the database, save it on that table. So you have a policy ID, your name, and your social security number. If you have auto policy, if you have home insurance policy, you have a policy ID, your name, social security number. Right. If you have multiple policies, then you will have the same social security number, different policy IDs. That's how they differentiate you, same name. And then when that data is stored in the database, it now returns a response. The server responds back to you. You, your insurance, you now have auto insurance. Here's your policy ID. So it takes this policy ID and send it back to you with some documents and your ID card, and it returns back to the client that makes the request, right? We talked about that. We talked about how AWS has servers. We talked about connecting from Dallas here and Firefox connecting to a server in AWS. We talked about how we connect from the client to Firefox to a server in Virginia over a public IP address. Public IP from our laptops or our browser, Firefox connects to another public IP on the server in AWS in North Virginia over the internet. And we'll talk about how servers talk to each other over private IP address, right? When we connect to a server from our client to when we connect from our client to a server over the internet, is it TCP or UDP?
TCP.
When we connect from a client from a server, when the server, not us, but the server wants to talk on that server to the private IP, what protocol does it use?
UDP.
They're called protocols, okay? Like when you hear the word protocols, it's either TCP or UDP, okay? Or UDP, okay? I gave homework on this. I didn't see nobody submit the homework, but it's okay. Guys, we're adults, right? I'm not gonna babysit you and chase you for homework and all that stuff, right? You have your life to live, right? I'm doing my part. If you want to do your homework and submit it, it's up to you. If you don't want to submit it, it's up to you. I'm not gonna push you on homework. That's the least of my worries. It's for your understanding and learning, not for me, right? We talked about Zoom as a client, and we're connecting to this. We know the OSI model, layer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We talked about on the client side, you have layer 1, 2, 3. On the server side, you have layer 5, 6, 7. And in the middle, you have layer 4, right? We talked about the 7 layers, the layers. You need to know this before you go to an interview because they're going to ask you. We talked about DNS resolution over the past couple of weeks, right? What DNS resolution is, you need to know that. We talked about clients, right? Connecting to Microsoft Azure directly, like that. We talked about what on-premises and what cloud is. On-premises, having physical machines in the building like this. We'll talk about what cloud is. You have Google Cloud, you have Azure, Microsoft Azure Cloud, and you have Amazon AWS Cloud. We'll talk about public cloud as pay as you go. Private cloud is buying it and owning it and paying monthly. Talk about the server has CPU, vCPU, memory, and storage. We talk about how for architects, how to calculate the monthly cost of a server and what OPEX is CAPEX. We talked about New York Stock Exchange living in the same host or zone AWS and sharing the same hosts, noisy neighbors. Then we'll expand it into this noisy neighbor where you have different virtual machines in the same host, right? And so when your machine restarts, when you reboot your machine here or restart it, it will come up in a different zone. It's like when you move your car from a parking spot, someone takes your parking spot. This is the concept of virtualization. We'll talk about a hypervisor. It's not going to come in an interface, but it's good to know. Then we'll talk about creating our server in AWS and trying to ping a Google Gecko server. We'll talk about the D command, what the D command does, gives you an answer. We saw the Gecko.com server, Gecko.com dot. What does the dot at the end of Gecko.com represent? The dot. What does it represent?
The root.
The root server, right? We'll talk about this as the answer. The CNAME, the load balancer right here. So this load balancer takes your request and spreads across multiple servers behind the scenes, right? We'll talk about clients on the Gecko mobile app, connect to Gecko.com through TCP. And when before they connect, it goes to a DNS resolution process. And then when it returns the IP address, that request comes back and goes to the load balancer before it goes to the servers. Then we also talked about in Azure, you can connect directly to the server, but the best recommended way, because Azure is SOC 2 compliant. Did anybody do those compliance homework? SOC, PCI, DSS. Anybody remember that stuff? FINRA. If you want to be an architect, it's a must know, right? I'm an architect, right? You must know those stuff, those regulations. For engineers, it's not really important, right? If you want to be an architect, it's a must know. We'll say in Azure, for security purposes, we connect to a Bastion server, and then from a Bastion server, the Bastion server forwards our requests, our connection requests through a private IP, and we'll connect to a server. Or it can still be public. It can still be public. Don't get it. It can be public or private. Or public. It can still be public. Sorry, let me go back here. It can still be private or, I don't know how to, let me add an or here. Yeah. Right? It could be public or private. Who can give me an instance why we'll make it public? Anybody want to try? Where are we in here? Are we within a region? Are we within Azure region right here? Right? We are within Azure region, Central US region, right? So we're within something called a demilitarized zone. When you're within this region, inside here, you're within something called demilitarized zone. It's like you're in a military camp. In here, you're secure. This guy can only allow this specific IP address to connect, 192.168.1.1, to connect to him. Because in his inbound rules, he has only allowed one IP to connect to him. So even if it's public, only this IP can connect to him. Unless you're this IP, you can't connect to him. When you connect to him now, you can now jump from here to here. What instances will you make it public? What instances will you make it private? We talked about it last class, guys. Come on. Anybody want to try? Why would you make it public? Come on, guys.
I think the one that is the one that is open, like the public IP, that's the one that you make it public, right? Then the server that is unique just to the company's information and database, that's the one you make it private and give access to people. like create like maybe keys for people to have access into it.
Yeah, that's close. It's a little close. So guys, okay, maybe we need to know what a Bastion server. What is a Bastion server? I think we'll talk about it. Bastion server or host. Anybody? Okay. So a Bastion server is pretty much a middleman that, because we're protecting this guy, right? This server right here is like, let's say this server here is www.geico.com. This is the company's bread and butter. This is what they use to make money, this website here. So you can't just allow anybody to connect from public to this guy. So you have a Bastion server, a jump host. It's also called a jump box. A jump box as well. That's what they call it. That's what I actually call it nowadays. You don't call it Bastion. Bastion on it because it's called a jump box. So we'll jump from here to here. And then now, since we're in a demilitarized zone, we can now jump from here to here. The reason why we make it public is what I just talked about previously. How do we connect to servers as clients? What protocol do we use? Come on, guys. Come on, guys.
TCP.
Yes. So what does TCP go over?
The internet.
No, what does it go over? What type of IP does TCP go over?
Public.
Public IP.
Public.
So that's the reason why we'll make this TCP, make it public, because it's a TCP connection. However, if you want to go private, it means that you are sending commands from this server to go here. And in that case, it will be what protocol?
Private.
What protocol?
UDP.
UDP.
Come on, guys. This is very, very easy. Because you have one jump box and you have 30 Geico servers or 2 or more Geico servers behind here, and you have 20 employees, or you have, let's say, 4 employees. These 4 employees, please mute yourself. These 4 employees are working for Geico.com, and this is Geico.com servers. They are cloud support engineers or SREs. They support these servers back here. So, however, we have one jump box that we have trusted that people can connect to this jump box. So when you go to the office, your IP address is this. So for employee number 1 is 1.1. Employee number 2 is 192.168.1.2. Employee number 3 is 192.168. 192.168.1.3. Because you're in the same office, you're going to have the same IP address, 1.4, right? So in the security group for this Bastion host, we're allowing this range, 192.168.0.0/24. I'll explain this later and we'll get to deep dives. So any of these IPs can connect to this Bastion host, and we only have 4 employees. So when these 4 employees connect from their Firefox, wherever they connect, they jump to the LAN here. And then from here, these servers back here, what do they have? How many IPs does this server have? How many IPs does this server have? This one server does have?
2.
Which one? What kind of IP and what kind of IP?
Private.
Private. Yeah, private.
Thank you. The private is 172.16. I'm just making these numbers up. It's not an exact number. That's a private IP, right? Like that. That's private IP. Guys, please follow me here. This is the last time I'm explaining this. We need to move on to bigger things that will give us money. Please pay close attention to this. And then you have a public IP 203.52.15.58. That's a public IP. Public IPs and private IPs will never be the same. What does public IP use to, what is used to inherit a public IP? What is used?
To get internet?
What is the public IP? What is the public IP?
So your public IP is an IP address that can be used
Guys, I gave this as homework.
to
Do you guys
detect a
have this
device
document?
on the internet.
Do you guys have this document? I gave it as homework. Come on, guys. That's what I'm saying. These are things that will come in your interviews. I gave it. Do you guys have this document? I gave you this document, this Word document. It's right here. It's right here. So what's the public IP?
A public IP is the IP that is usually attached to the device that usually appears to the device that you're using.
A public IP can be used to connect directly to the internet.
Public IP is internet. Public IP is internet. And what is a private IP? Just read it, guys. Just read it. Just read it, guys. What's a private IP?
Private IP cannot connect directly to the internet. That's it, more internal use. Can connect between internal servers to communicate.
Come on, guys. You need to study 1 hour a day. That's the rule of thumb. You cannot fake this stuff. You cannot fake it. This stuff is going to give you $150,000 plus. This is the main thing. Not a side. This is not a side job. It's not a side. This is the main hustle. And then this other server has a private IP as well, 172.16. If you see what I'm doing here, IP addresses have a similar range. 172.16.1.2 is the next IP after 172.16.1.1. The next IP after that is 172.16.1.2. That's a private IP. And then what will be the public IP? The next public IP, someone listed out to me, 203 dot.
203.52.16.59.
Thank you, 59. That's the next public IP address because they're in the same zone within Azure, Central US, Oklahoma. They have the same range of IP addresses. So if we want to connect from this Bastion host to this server right here, what IP connects to what IP address? Let's say I'm employee number 2, and my IP address is 168.1.2, and I want to connect to server number 1 or server number 2, server number 1. How do I connect? Come on, guys, we talked about it already. You just have to try, guys. You have to keep trying, and
Connect
I'll learn.
to the Bastion host and then to the IP, the server.
Which IP?
The private IP.
No. I want to connect to this server. Guys, okay, I'll give you 2 options. One, you jump from your clients, you land to the Bastion host, and you send commands. You can send a command from a server. You can send commands from this server to this server without connecting to the server. You can send commands from this server to this server without connecting to the server. If you want to connect to the server, you can hop to this Bastion host or Jumpbox, and then from there you connect to the server. So if you want to connect to this server too, how would you connect directly?
To the public IP, TCP?
Yes, that's correct. But can you make a full statement, a full sentence? If it's an interview question,
Okay.
make a full sentence. How would you connect from, if you're employee number 2, and this is your IP address, how would you connect from this client to this server?
Okay, if I'm employee number 2, in order for me to connect to the server number 2, I would go through the public IP address to the Bastion server. Then I would use the TCP through the public IP. to connect to server 2.
And what is server 2's public IP?
Public IP is 203.52.16.59.
Correct. That is correct. Because you want to hop from this and land. This user will land on this server. For him to land on that server, he needs to connect to a public IP. But you can still stay here on this server and send commands. You can send a command to SSH. You can send a command. It's called a network tunnel. We'll get to it at some point. You can send the command from here without connecting to the server. And what do servers talk to each other how?
Through private IP.
And what protocol?
UDP.
Thank you. So it means this, when you send the command from here to this server directly without connecting to the server, it will connect to the server over UDP and send your commands over a private channel. The reason why it does that is because this server and this server trust each other and they're speaking in private. Your command you send here, only the server will be able to receive it. Any other server in this network that is listening for traffic, because it's private, it cannot intercept the traffic. So we just learned that when the servers talk to servers, they go over private IP. When human beings want to connect to a server, it's still public IP. Even though it's internal, when the demilitarized zone, it's still public IP. Guys, I'm not going to come back to this. I think we've beat this horse to death. It's you know, okay. So that's it. So when we connect to a server, what we've been doing all along, so our clients. Our client is what? Our client is Firefox. Or whatever browser you're using. We connect to the server. This server is in AWS. Right? Server is in AWS.
Hey, Debo, I have a question.
Yes, go ahead, please.
So my understanding was that a client could not connect directly to a server. A client will have to go through another server to connect to a server. So, but you just explained that a client could connect to a server directly using public IP. So I'm a little bit confused on that.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. Yes. In other methods, this method is a secure method. Thank you for bringing that up. This is a secure method. This is because we're protecting this server behind here. Okay? This is Geico.com. This is the money maker. So you don't want to just connect directly from the internet to the servers. No. This is a secure method of connecting. So we'll go to a Bastion host or a Jumpbox. Or let's call it Jumpbox. The other way of connecting directly over the internet without any Jumpbox, public IP to public IP is what we did before. Public IP here is the first thing we did. We connected directly from public to public without any Jumpbox. This is in AWS. This is in Dallas. We connected directly right here. Where is it? Right here. Dallas connected directly to Virginia over the internet, public IP address to public IP address directly. But servers talk to each other direct, like through private IP, like this. That makes sense? So, but I'm teaching you a secured method of connecting, mostly in Microsoft Azure. Mostly Microsoft Azure, because Microsoft Azure is a secured platform. Microsoft Azure is SOC 2 compliant. That's why the United States government uses Microsoft Azure and not AWS. AWS, they will allow you to connect directly without any protection of their main server, which runs the company's application. With Microsoft Azure, they recommend you use the Bastion host, and they're providing you with a Bastion host. I'm going to create one and show you, right? We did it before. We can do it again. And they're also going to create another one in AWS as well. Don't mock up your account. Is that clear? So yes, there's many ways of connecting to a server. What I just showed you was a secure method. You can still connect directly without any bastion host, but this I'll show you in Microsoft Azure is a secure method. Thank you for bringing that up. Is that clear now?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So in Azure, you can create a resource. So let's go here. This is what I want to do now. Let's implement this particular secure method of connection, this particular method. This is my Firefox account. I want to create two servers back here. And I want to create a bastion host to connect to both of them. Right here, I'm going to go here. I'm going to create a new resource group. I'm going to call this, let's call this some application. Let's say Geico underscore or Geico-app. That's a resource group, something like that. We'll do where's Central? US Central is Oklahoma. And I'm going to just create these tags, create this resource group. Validation passed. And what's happening? Create. So I created a resource group called Geico-app. Now I'm going to go create a server. Create resource. Create virtual machine. I'm going to select my Geico-app resource group. I'm going to call this virtual machine Geico-app-server1. That's it. That's the first one I'm creating. I'm going to choose Red Hat Linux as the virtual machine, the operating system. That's it. Everything is good. I'm going to use I'm going to create this key pair, Geico App Server Key Pair 1. I'm going to open it to the internet, right? Those ports. I don't want the expensive disk. I want a very cheap disk. So I'm going to take standard SSD. It's cheaper. Anyway, we're going to delete it, so it doesn't really matter. I'm going to review and create. Validation passed. Create. Download that key pair. It's there. Server key 1. Okay, it's creating. Go back home, create another one. Same resource group, Geico app, Geico-app-server-2. Same thing, same operating system, same everything. I want to just change that disk to a cheaper disk, standard. Review and create. That's it. Download that key pair. You see the key pair is going to be -2 right there. Guys, imagine this. These companies have thousands of servers. I'll ask you in another class, how do they manage these keys? And I'll see what you tell me. And that's that. If you go now to virtual machines, you have to refresh this. Come on. Okay, deployment succeeded. Now we should come up. Fresh succeed. Now we have 2. Why is the resource group name in capital? That's strange. Huh? Okay. Well, it's creating. So now that is creating. If we go to server 1 and we want to connect to server 1, if you open this up, you see there's 2 ways to connect. You can connect directly. Don't get me wrong. You can just connect directly. That's a public IP address. You can just, connect directly to it and don't have to either using Azure CLI, command line interface, or native SSH. You can just connect directly like that. And, you just connect directly, right? But I'm just showing you that in Azure, the best practice is to connect it in the Bastion host, which is this right here. So connecting to the Bastion host, you're going to deploy a Bastion host. I should have configured it manually, but it's creating one for us to use. Right there. Creating a new Bastion host, app-server-1-virtual network Bastion. And then from there, you can connect. That's what I'm saying here. So we create 2 servers. Now we're creating a Bastion host that will jump from here to here, and then from here we'll connect. Is that clear? Is that clear, or is there any questions? It's clear, right?
What is the advantage of going through the Bastion host?
The advantages of going to a Bastion host is that you protect the servers. Because these servers back here is the company, application servers. Geico.com is a server, runs on a server. You want to protect that servers. As SREs, as cloud support engineers, we need to log into these servers to troubleshoot, to fix issues, performance issues, add more space, add more disk space, all these things, scale the server, monitor the server. So we can't just connect from the public internet to the servers. We need to go to a Bastion host. So all traffic going to this is monitored, and then all traffic going from here to here is secured. Some people will send commands from here to the servers without even going to the servers. In some instances, some companies will prevent you from even landing on the server. You can stay here and send a command to the server, and the command will respond back to you on the server. You never get a chance to actually connect direct to the server, no, because that server has it has customer credit card information, social security numbers, all these things. So the commands you send here are also monitored. If you send any command like requesting someone's social security number, the system will alert, flag, and then they'll be notified, and then you're gone, you're fired immediately. The Navy is not even a thing twice. So some companies are really that strict. However, if you're a senior cloud SR engineer, if they trust you enough, then you'll be able to connect and land here and fix the issue. Is that clear? So this is a secure method of connecting. The other method of connecting that we don't care, mostly in AWS, is directly over the internet. We just go, we're going to launch an instance really, really quick. You can call this Geico-app-server3. And you can pick Red Hat operating system right there. And leave it the same. You can create a key pair called Geico app-key-3. Create that key pair. You see it downloads. And then it's open to the internet. You see right there, allow SSH traffic from anywhere. It's open to the internet. You don't need the Bastion host. That's it. Launch instance. Created. Done. Whereas in Azure, our Bastion is still creating. Strange. I'll refresh this real quick. It's updating states. Okay. That means that they're just going to update resending. So this one has a Bastion. So let's go to the Bastion. It's updating still. So we're gonna give it a minute. Same thing here. You can configure it manually. If you want to give it a name, choose a type of virtual machine that you want to use, or you can just do automatic creation. Most people just do deploy Bastion automatically. Let's see, in AWS, creating an instance. Guys, you have to be multi-cloud guys to survive in this new age. You cannot be only AWS, only Azure. And we are going to do the Google Cloud on Wednesday. So I hope you have the Google Cloud accounts ready. You have to be multi-cloud. There's no way you're going to survive in this new age without multi-cloud. You cannot be denied. They cannot deny you. You know AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud. They were not going to deny you. Here, we just go connect directly from the internet. Just connect directly. Boom, connects. That's it. That is the direct method. Minutes. That's the direct method without going to any Bastion host. That is unsecure. It's not secure because now you are exposing all your requests going to the server to everybody on the internet. On the internet, you have people called eavesdroppers. You have hackers, scammers, all kinds of things. Is that clear enough? Is that clear? Unsecured method and secure method. I might give you an assignment. Hey, connect to a server using a secured method. Connect to server using an unsecure method. Show me the two. What are the differences and advantages of the two? Capiche? We good?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Bastion is still deploying. Okay. It's updating. The network is slow. So let's just leave it there. Right. Google Cloud as well. I hope you have the Google Cloud account ready. Nothing I'm going to do it today. Like my account is in hibernation mode. So AWS client, same client connecting to Azure. Same client. But in Azure, we have what? A Bastion. Or let's use the word Jumpbox. I like the word Jumpbox. It means we're jumping from here to here and then from here to here, right? And we also have the same public IPs and everything. Okay, very easy question. In what instances we will not connect directly to the server, they stay in the Bastion host and send commands to the server? In what instances? Let's see who's thinking. In what instances, guys?
When we're trying to request any personal information, data.
Yes, that is correct. When you're requesting personal information, you will not connect directly to the server. You will request it using a command like that. Anybody else? Someone wanted to answer? Or? Nobody? All right, cool. So today, we're going to continue with those Linux commands that we did. Open up the cheat sheet here. I think this is it. We did you guys practice these commands? Again, this is English language. You need to practice these commands. What did we cover last week? I know what we'll cover. I want to see what you guys know what we'll cover. What areas did we cover last week? Come on, guys. What did we cover last week?
We covered network.
That's it? Network? What else did we cover?
System management.
Yeah, what else?
And processes.
Yep.
Commands.
Covered network, system management, and processes. So today I want us to cover disk usage and files, cover some files, and then if we'll have some time at the end of class, we're gonna run this little work that we're supposed to do. We didn't do it. We're gonna do it in class today. This LAMP stack. Did anyone try this LAMP stack creation right here? Did anyone try to run this?
Yeah, I went to the end. There was some issue.
Okay, if you didn't do it, that's fine. We'll do it today in class at the end. Yeah. Hopefully we'll have time. So let's connect to our EC2 instances. Reconnect again. Let's connect. Anyone you want to connect to. It could be Azure server, it could be EC2. Anyone is fine. Anyone is the same thing. As long as you have Red Hat Linux, is fine. Okay. Let's see what connection is the issue. Let's go back here. Instances. Let's see. That's a public IP address. 23. Connect. I think it's because it's root. That's why. So the username is root when you use Red Hat Linux. Okay. Let's see if you connect. Security group. It's open. Security groups. Go ahead. Just fix this inbound rules. Edit inbound rules. Gotta add HTTP and HTTPS. So anywhere. This is very unsecure, guys, right? Save rules and connect. You can create the same Amazon Linux that you did last time, guys. It's the same thing, the same commands, no problem. And if you have any Linux command, open it. We're gonna run through these commands and just learn Linux, okay? And go back here and connect again. Let's see. What the hell? Oh, in the AMI. Let's go back and check what the AMI is defined in. The AMI. The AMI is Red Hat Linux. That's what AMI is. So if you go back to here and look at the connection details, instance connect. And it's supposed to be, maybe they change the username. No. So let's abandon Red Hat. Let's connect. Let's create a Amazon Linux one. I think they changed the. Let's use this one. Let's create one more instance right here. Let's use this one. I think AWS has updated the username for Red Hat Linux. So let's call this Geico-app-server4. Everyone create a new instance and connect to it. That's server 4. Amazon Linux. Leave it like as that. You see the username is EC2. If you choose Red Hat, the username will be EC2-user. But it's not accepting. Let's choose Amazon Linux for now. Yes, confirm changes. Okay.
Can we use an old instance that we created before? Yes,
you can use any instance you created before, yes. You can use an old key pair as well, if you want as well. Okay, I'm gonna just launch that. Then make sure you terminate your instances, right? You don't want to leave those things running. And they're gonna start charging you. Please do not leave your instances running. They're gonna charge you, guys. I don't want you guys incurring costs, please. Okay. So it's launching. Give it a couple of minutes here. Any questions while the instance is launching? Okay, let's see what's running. So the 4 is the one I want to create. I'm going to delete this one just so they don't charge me. Terminate instance. And we're going to do this usage commands. We're going to check the disk. We've done processes. We've done the system. We're going to check some disk usage commands. And they want to do some navigation, how to navigate the file system, right? And then we're gonna go do like files, creating directories, files, folders, and then permissions on those folders. And then I think we should be good from there on out. All these other commands are very just shortcuts. Searching within a file, you can learn that on your own. It's not very important. But there's some this usage, that navigation, creating files, and these file permissions are very important. We're not going to do all the commands, but we're just going to do some, and then we can do some Red Hat package installation as well. Sudo yum install package name. I'll explain this. This is very important, guys. Once we pass this stage, this language, then we're gonna hit the ground running. From next week, we're gonna be doing real SRE stuff, right? Like microservices, dealing with monitoring applications, Prometheus, Grafana. We're gonna go directly into monitoring next week and log management. This is the main thing that you're gonna be doing in the job, monitoring. Okay, so the TIFA is done. I think it's done creating. Let's refresh. I'm gonna just connect to it and connect. Is it easier if someone shared their screen and I run them through the commands? Anybody want to do that? Drive so that someone can learn? Anybody want to volunteer or no? I'm just curious. No? Okay. I offered.
No, I will.
You want to drive? You want to share your screen and we'll tell you what command to? Okay, cool. I like that. Do you mind if we record while you share your screen?
It's okay.
Okay, cool. All right, it's cool. You enable sharing. That way you learn, because this is the way to learn, right? It's better to make mistakes here than to make mistakes in the job, guys. Trust me. Okay, you're connected. So we have the cheat sheet open on the side. Guys, this is very interactive. We're going to contribute here. We're going to do disk usage. The first command in the disk usage is df-h. So type df-h. Correct. Guys, see what she did? I did not say df space -h. Most people just type df-h. Whenever you hear a dash or a minus, some people call it minus, some people call it dash, you have to put a space before the dash. In Linux, when you hear a dash, you have to put a space before the dash. So df-h is like that. So run that command. And this command tells us what size of disk we have, what we have used, and what's available. You see right there, the main disk that we created is this /dev/xvda1. Isabel, can you highlight that? Like put your mouse there. /dev. Yeah, that's the one we created. All the other ones you see comes with the system by default. Comes with every server will have it. But this dev/xvda1 is the one we created. We manually, when we're creating the server, we choose 8 GB. That's why you see it's mounted on /. / is the root directory of every server. So the operating system that we installed has used 1.9 GB of space, and only 6.1 GB of space is left. All the other directories that you see there, or locations, they call them file system directories. They are called file system directories. Okay, cool. What's the next command? df-i. df-i. You can clear your screen, Isabel. Okay. df-i. We type clear is everything. Good job. df-i. So this shows you the inodes. Inodes are a granular detail that are behind gigabytes. So you have gigabytes, and then you have megabytes, then you have kilobytes, then you have bytes, then you have inodes. So inode shows you how much I notice it's like if you've ever eaten cookies, like in a box of cookies, you have 10 cookies. So one cookie is one inode. So if you run a df-h again, let's put it side by side. You see right there, dev XVDA 8 gigabytes is equivalent to 404,188,96 inodes. That's the equivalence. You see that? So the used is 59,250 inodes, which is 1.9 gigabytes. You don't need to calculate it. You don't need to know it offhand. No. The reason why we need to see inodes is just because we want to know how much is left. You may see down here in df-h, we have used 99%. But when you run a df-i, you see that we have free 8%. Because you see 99% used doesn't mean that we cannot go for another day without adding disk. So you run a df-i. If you want to get more information after you run a df-h and it's not enough, you want to get more information, that's when you now go for a df-i, which gives you more information about inodes and stuff. Capiche? Okay. Next command. What's the next command?
fdisk.i.
fdisk-l. These partitions, sizes, and types of commands. So type fdisk-l. It's an L. If it's in Linux,
It's L.
It's L, yes. In Linux, you will see everything is small letters. Everything in Linux is small letters, guys. Take notes. Linux commands are always small letters. Permission denied. Why can you run this command? Why can you not run this command? Why can't you run this command? Anybody? Come on, guys. Come on.
I think because she didn't use a sudo.
Thank you. So what's the correct command?
Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah. So whenever you have permission denied, you have to use sudo, right? And sudo means super user privilege, right? Yes. As SREs, we're going to have sudo access, okay? Because we need to get into things. We need to see things. So you run a fdisk as LUC, sectors of 1 times 512 bytes. So this is giving you more detailed information. The I/O size of this server is 512 bytes. That's the smallest chunk size of disk on disk. So your 8 gigabytes equals to 85,899,000, something like 858 bytes and sectors. So if you're troubleshooting maybe a bad disk or something like that, this is what you will see. This is what you will see. If you're troubleshooting a very bad disk, all these things, right? This is information you will see. You will see XVDA1, you will see the stat, you see the N, you see the sectors that's used, the size, then you see the XVDA127, the stat, N, size, you see the EFI system, you see how much the BIOS is using, your operating system boot is using. It's using 1 megabyte right there. You see how the EFI system is using 10 megabytes. You see how your partitions are in this order. So this is when you're experiencing maybe some write issues on the server, something like that. That's when you will do this. Okay? Any questions? Okay, what's the next command? du-h. This is an important one too. If you want to see the disk usage for all files, how many, this one comes a lot in the interviews. Oh, please write this down. Disk usage for files. So they say, oh, there's a particular file on that server that's causing issues, that is consuming too much space. We want to see the details about that file. You run a du-ah. This one came in my interview as well. A DU command is disk usage. DU means disk usage. These commands mean that these commands mean something. DF means disk free. DF means disk free. DU means disk usage. DU-H means disk usage show. DU-AH means what? You figure it out. I'm not going to tell you everything. Right? So run a DU-AH. DU-AH, let's see what it tells us.
That's it.
Nice. You see, each directory, how much space it has used. This is when you're troubleshooting disk issues. Oh, Isabel, users are not able to write to the application. They cannot buy their flight online because they cannot write to the application. And when you cannot write to the application, you start looking at the disk issues. These are the commands you will use for disk issues. You see, each directory is showing you how much space it has used.
What's the meaning of bash? B-A.
Bash is the default directory for a Linux operating system, the bash. Okay. So DU-H is used in the answering interview. What command would you use to see how much each file is consuming? You say DU-H. Please write that down. That one is important. Okay. Next command is DU-show. So now you want to do disk usage. You want to do a disk usage show. There you go. It's showing you 56 kilobytes. That's what has been used. That's what has been used. Okay. Any other questions? Next command. Mount. Show currently mounted file systems. Run a mount. Just a simple mount. A simple mount. Okay, what does it tell us? It tells you the detailed mount points on this server. You see, you have processes is on /pros. System file system is on /system. That's a directory. Dev temporal file system is on /dev. Right? You see that? pstore is on /sys/fs file system /pstore. That's a type of mount point. These are all volumes. These are all directories on this server. Temporal temp fs is on /temp. So if you wanted to see all the system directories, this is what you run, a mount. If you wanted to see a mount for a specific mount, play this and you type mount for a specific, let's say we want to see for our own volume. We'll do a mount. You type mount /dev. No, clear your screen. We want to be, let's be clear. Yes, dev dev /xvda xvda1 space /, which is the mount point. Enter. What does that mean?
We should use sudo.
Use sudo. There you go. You should use sudo. You should use sudo. Isabel, you should type. Type. Guys, trust me, life is hard in the beginning, but after it's easier. You should type, right? In the beginning, you should always type so you can practice. The more you type, the more you will know. If you don't type, you will not know you. Don't have the habit of copying and pasting. It's already mounted. Do a df-h. Do a df-h. There you go. It's mounted on mount point /. That's it. Okay, cool. That's it for this usage. You can do find MNT if you want, and then you can do a mount device path. That one you're doing on the job. So find MNT, you can display target mount point for all file systems. So that's the commands you use to troubleshoot these issues. If you hear any complaint that, oh, cannot write to the server, all these things, that's the command you will use. Okay? Cool. Any questions before we go to the next command? Sabel, thank you. Anybody want to share your screen? Thank you for volunteering. Or should I share my screen and just run to this? Okay, nobody else want to share their screen, so I'll take over. Okay, now we're gonna go do navigation. Navigation, or let's create files first. Let's do files. This is a huge one. So files. So we want to create a directory on our Linux box. We're going to run this command, mkdir. Mkdir means make directory. Make. Mk means make, dir means directory. So in Linux, if you want to create a folder, we're going to say mkdir and then the folder name. So I want to create a folder called Debo. That's my name. That's the folder name. I just created a folder called Debo. mkdir Debo. And if I go back here, I want to see that folder that I just created. I can run an ls-ltr. That's the directory here, Debo. How did I use that? Where did this command come from? The command came from navigation. Navigation, ls-ltr. This one. List files and directories in long format is ls-l. List files and directories in stream format. In stream format is ls-ltr. ls-l listed in long format. Let's create 3 more directories. So the first one I just did was mkdir Debo. Create another one, mkdir cloud, and then mkdir tests. If I want to see everything I've created, the directories, I just do an ls-l. It will show me in this format. If I wanted to show it in trim format, ls-ltr. tr means trim. It doesn't make a difference now because it's directories. When it comes to files, it will make a difference. Okay? So I've created directories. I'm able to list the directories that I've created. Okay. Now, let's change directory and go into that directory. CD means change directory. Let's go into one of those directories. Change directory and then the path. So here, we're going to go into CD, Debo. Enter. CD, Debo, enter. We just did a change directory into that directory right there. Is everybody there? Is everybody there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Now that you have changed the directory into Debo, we want to create some simple files. So we're going to go to Files, and we'll look in these files. How do we create files? I'll give you an easy way. You can do a touch. It's right here. Touch, and then file names, create a new file. So touch, file name. So I'm going to go back here and just do a touch, debo.txt. Remember, your files must have an extension. This is a file extension. .txt is a file extension. You can also do a touch, tests.sql, touch, debo.pdf, whatever file. Every file has an extension, but you must give it an extension. If you just say touch, and then you just do like tests 01, I don't give it any name, it will remain like that. Now, if we want to list these files that were just created in long format, it will be ls space -l -l. And we'll see like that. You see that file will remain like this. It doesn't have any format. These are the files that create issues in the job, because we don't know what format this file is. Elvis created this file with no format, and we don't know what format. I don't want to just open the file because it could be a bad file, it could be a virus, right? If it's a PDF, we know to use Acrobat to open the PDF. A text file, we use Microsoft. Every file has a tool that we use to open. So if we wanted to list this file in trim format, we'll do ls-ltr. And you see here, it listed the file in order of last creation. If we come and add new files tomorrow, it will list the files most recent to the oldest. Right now, it's showing the same because we just created it just right now. The long format and the trim format is different in that they're similar, L-L, but this TRM trims it. It trims it a little bit shorter. Okay? So we've created directories. We've changed the directory into Debo. In the Debo directory, we've created 1, 2, 3, 4 files. And then we've listed those files in long format and in trim format. Any questions? Are we all there?
Where is this LSLTR in the command?
It's not in the command sheet. I mentioned it.
Okay.
It's
LSLTR.
ls-l is in the command sheet. It lists files and directories in the long format. But in the job, because most servers have too many files, you're not going to be able to list files in the long format. If you list files in the long format, let me show you something. On my Mac, this is my personal Mac, not EC2 instance, so just bear with me once. I want to show you guys something. Shell, edit background color, profile, homebrew. This is my personal Mac, not any Windows computer, so just bear with me. I want to show you guys something. If I do an ls-l, that's what comes up. If I do an ls-ltr, that's what comes up. You see, the ls-l listed my files, January 2024, October 12, October 14, in any order, in any format. But the ls-ltr listed my files in order of time, date, year, all the way backwards. So the most recent files, the most recent folder that I accessed today is this folder, October 14 today, October 12, August 15, July, 2024, 2023, 2021, backwards. The ls-l, it just gives it in long format in any order. It doesn't organize it in terms of time. So this command ls-ltr is the one we use mostly on the job because we want to see the most recent files that were modified or touched. Similar on your directories, if you go to your directory, to documents, for example, you want to do this date modified to see what files you touched today. You see right there. You see that? That's similar thing with these commands. So you want to use ls-ltr at all times and not ls-l. Most lazy engineers will just do ls. And ls used to feel like this. Look at that. Is this readable to you? The most important thing for us on the job is readability. ls. That's how you will list your files. I don't like it like this. I prefer ls-ltr. It shows me in time and in order. Yeah? Cool. So ls-ltr, that's the files. Then another important, so this command is important. This is a top 20 important command. Write it down. You have everything we've just done now. This directory commands I've done now is important. The mkdir is important. mkdir, another folder. So if you wanted to know what folder you're currently in, let's say you're working, you don't know what folder you're currently in, you type the command pwd. So, I'm in /home/ec2-user/debo. This is my directory. If you look at here, under navigation, PWD stands for show the directory you are currently working in. So it stands for present working directory. Present working directory. Am I too fast? If I'm too fast, let me know. I'll slow down a little bit. Am I too fast? I don't know if I'm too fast, guys. You guys have to tell me. Yes? No? Am I fast?
No, it's okay.
Okay. So we have done ls. We have done ls. So I've seen ls and it's ls-a. So let's look at ls-a, right? If you do ls-ltr, which is I like it very much. If you do ls-a, ls space -a, it shows you the hidden files. -a, it stands for all. -a stands for all. ls-a stands for all files. If you go look at your cheat sheet, it stands for list all files and directories in the current directory. Show hidden files. So if they tell you, oh, how would you look for a hidden file? This is also an important command. This one is a top 20 command because there are some files that are hidden within the file system. System files are hidden. If you look at here, this dot has some files. So you can do an ls-a. Let me try. I think ls-a tr. ls-altr. There you go. This is the one I like. I don't like the one that it just shows you in one line. You know, well, you want to use your eyes for long. You don't want to stretch your eyes. So again, it's not in the command cheat sheet. This is extra I'm giving you, right? If you want to list your files in order and time, you do ls-ltr. If you want to list all files, including hidden files, you do ls-altr. It will show you the files in order. This dot folder right here is a hidden directory that has hidden files in it. To go into this folder, you will do a cd dot. And you do an ls-ltr. You won't see, but if you do an ls-a, you will see the same thing. We'll get to hidden files in a little bit. Okay. Present working directory. I'm currently in debo directory. Now, being inside of Debo's directory, if I create another directory inside of Debo's directory, let me say I create mkdir Debo02. If I do an ls-ltr, you will see it will list this directory as the most recent thing. Why? Because I'm using the -ltr. So all these commands I've done here now, if I clear my screen, if you run a history on your keyboard, you'll see everything we've done. Run a history, guys. Run a history. You see everything we've done. It's 8:20. We have 40 minutes left. Do we take a break? Do we take a break, guys?
Keep going.
Keep going? Woo, I like it. Motivaciones. Sí, señor. So now that we're in this Debo directory, if I do a pwd, I'm in Debo directory. If I do an ls space -ltr, right? We see that there's a Debo directory in here. How do we go into this Debo directory? How do we get inside this Debo02 directory? What's the command?
Oh shit.
ls.
CD
CD what?
space Debo02.
There you go. Guys, it's here in your cheat sheet. CD, change to a directory. CD right here. Change. Change directory, CD. So now I'm inside the Debo02 directory because you see here, right there. How do I know what is my present working directory? What command do I type?
pwd.
That's it. That's my directory. That's what I'm currently working in. If I want to go back to Debo, just to Debo, I want to go back one level just to Debo. The command is cd ... cd, change directory, ... You see that? Change directory, ... It's just to go back one level. It's like I'm in documents. I'm in this Gen AI directory here. I'm here and I want to go back. I just do one. I'm back in documents. In Linux, it's cd ... and hit enter. And I'm back to Debo. If I do pwd, I'm back to Debo. If I want to go forward, back to Debo02, what's the command?
No, I'm not listening to any of that.
CD Debo.
cd.
Come on, guys. You know the answer. We just did it.
CD.
No, Tolu, not you again. Somebody, come on. If we want to go back
CD.
to Debo02 directory, what do we do? What's that?
CD
Dot.
CD
No.
cd dot.
No. We want to go forward. We want ls-ltr. We're currently in the Debo directory. We want to go into Debo02. What's the command?
Hold on.
Hey, guys, you pay a penalty for thinking. You're thinking too loud. There's a penalty for thinking loud, guys. Come on. We just did it just now.
cd dot.
No, cd ... is to go back to Debo directory. We have gone back to Debo directory. Now we want to go back into Debo02 directory. What's the command?
CD Debo2.
cd Debo02.
Oh.
Come on, guys. It's up here. Okay, now I want to go back to Debo. What's the command?
CD dot dot.
CD dot dot. Oh, it's so easy, guys. This stuff is so easy, man. I'm telling you, you need to practice. You cannot copy and paste. You need to practice this over and over. And that's why I have an assignment for you guys. That I'm going to give you guys this one right here, Linux assignment. I'm going to give you this assignment to do, to see all this stuff, sudo su, pwd, ls, all these commands you're going to run on your own, pwd, create some files, create some projects, do all these things. All these things you're going to do on your own. All these commands you do on your own. It's a lot of practice. Create these, create that. This, you're going to have some errors. You're going to face some challenges, but that's okay, right? But this is for you to navigate the file system and play around things, okay? It's due Monday at 7 p.m. Every Monday, assignment to do. Okay? Every Monday, 7 p.m. assignment to do. Every Monday, 7 p.m. It doesn't matter when the assignment is given. So I'm going to send you guys this file. If I put it in the chat, would you guys be able to download it? Let me see if I can do that.
So run all of these files and take a screenshot, right?
Yep. Run this command, screenshot, and send the screenshot. That's the only way I know you did it, right? When you take a screenshot. Unless, well, Cam is not here. And Chris is not here. They're stuck in Florida with a Hurricane Milton. Oh, man. It's tough. Yeah, thank God. So, guys, I made the recording public, right? Because people be saying, oh, I didn't receive the recording. So I made it public, okay? So if you go to my YouTube page, I hope you subscribed already, right? I don't get paid for the subscription, so don't feel like I'm getting paid for that. It's free. Everyone is using it for free, please. So just go on here and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And I made the videos right here, Cloud SRE.
With Amazon, the hardest thing.
Sorry, guys. Sorry about that. Let me go to YouTube Studio. I made the videos public, so you don't have to worry about expecting an email from me. So that's class 01, class 02. If I go to this playlist here, I have 3 videos in this playlist. Right here. Class 01, class 0, class 03, and today will class 04. So it's public. It's public. You can see. Well, only 12 of us in class, but there's more than 35 views. I don't know, so people are using it for free. But it's okay, right? I just don't want you guys complaining that because if it's private, I will share private with your emails like this. But people are saying they're not getting it, so I made it public. So everyone should be able to just subscribe to this channel. This is the channel link. Whenever I post a video, you will get this is the channel link. Let me just share. Copy channel ID or share channel. Copy that, put in the chat. So whenever I share a video, you will get it, okay? So you don't have to worry. I'll just upload every day publicly. It's fine, I don't really care. Okay, so we've done. So now what do I do to clear my screen? To clear, what do I type?
Clear.
How do I see all the commands I've typed in this terminal?
Easily.
That's it, right? Cool. We have 30 minutes. So let's see what other important commands are there for us to know. We've created a directory. I've created some files. How do we remove a file? RM stands for remove, and then the file name. So let's go in here. I want to ls-ltr. How do I change my directory into Debo? How do I go into Debo02? What's the command?
cd-debo02.
cd debo02. Nice. How do I know what directory I'm currently in?
pw.
Okay. Nice. How do I go back to Debo?
cd dash.
cd what?
CD dot dot.
cd dot. How do I know where I am?
PWD.
Yep. Okay. Now I want to go all the way back to home. I want to go all the way back to home directory.
CD.
What do I do?
CD.
Mm-hmm. Dot. Mm-hmm. So if I do dot, where will it land me? EC2 dash user, right? So how do I land in home?
CD home.
/ yes, and it will land me in home. PWD, I'm in home. Ah, okay. So the takes you one level back. How do I go back to Debo 02? Without, if okay, there's okay, assignments. I'm gonna give you guys an assignment. I just love it. Because you'd have to learn this, you know. There's something called absolute path versus relative path. I'm not gonna give you guys an answer. You guys need to study. I've give you guys the answer too much. Research absolute path versus relative path in Linux. Linux absolute path versus Linux relative path. I'm going to do it now, but I'm going to have you guys go figure it out because you need to do some work. If I don't give homeworks, I feel like you don't study. You know, people just feel like, oh, this is public school. This is the University of Texas. We want to just go to school and, you know, they don't give any homework. We want to just go play video games or just watch Nigerian movies and just relax. So I have to give some homework so you get some stuff to do. Okay. So now I want to connect. I want to go back to Debo 02. But if I look at my dates, I'm currently in home. If I do ls as LTR, I see EC2 as user. I see it into EC2 dash user. I do another ls as LTR. I see cloud test Debo. I see it into Debo. Where am I now? Oh, I'm in Debo, but I want to go to Debo 02. So I do another ls dash LTR. Oh, I see Debo 02 and I see it into Debo 02. Debo 02. Then now I'm in Debo 02 now. That what I just did, hop, 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 list, hop, 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 is one of this. It's either absolute path or relative path. I'm not going to give you guys an answer. You can guess what the answer is. What I just did is using the relative path or the absolute path. However, if you do a PWD and this is the path, right? This is the absolute path, and you do a CD. If you want to go back to home, you do a CD // How many is that? 1, 2, 3. Where would this land you? Where would this land you? In home or EC2 dash user?
EC2.
It landed us in home. 1, 2, 3. .. and lands you here.
Okay.
I
thought the last dot represent where we are landing. Okay.
No. CD .. // It's 1, 2, 3. It lands you here. So now I'm in home and I want to connect directly to Debo directory. Or let me say I want to go back home. I want to go to // the mount point. So another .. again. And you see, I'm now here. If I do a PWD, I'm now here, // Now I want to go directly to Debo 02 directory. What do? I do a CD and I go copy. Where is it? This directory right here. Absolute path. I copy the absolute path and I put it there. Boom. And I'm in Debo 02. So this is absolute path and the other one is relative path. But I still need the assignment done though. Okay. So in Linux, in the job, you will not be doing that CD, ls. No, you're going to you're going to use the absolute path. On the job, you have to use the absolute path on the job. You don't have time to be looking for directories. No. So you're going to have to learn to use the absolute path. That is the one that you will use on the job. I love Linux, man. It's such an easy language to learn. Any questions so far? PWD, I'm here. How do I go home? CD, ... I'm home. If I want to go back to one more, ... and I'm home. If I want to go back to Debo02, CD, copy this folder or this directory link, copy, paste, and I'm there. Okay. What else is there? Now, how do you remove a file? Let's remove a file. So if I want to go back, so do I have files in here? No, I don't have files in here. If I want to I have files in Debo, right? How do I know I have files in Debo? How can I list? How do I know I have files in Debo? You can do an ls-ltr. You know that if you're sure that there are files in Debo, you can list a directory without even going in there. You can just copy this path all the way up to Debo. You copy that path. You copy that path. You paste it here. Oh, look at that. There are files in there. Am I in Debo or I'm still in Debo02? Am I in the Debo directory or Debo02 directory?
Debo02.
Debo02.
Why? Because it's here.
Yeah.
You know your direction that you are in when you see it here. Okay. Now I want to delete some files in here. The command says remove file name. So let's go back. Remove the file. Let's remove debo.txt. Debo.txt. It failed. Why did it fail? Where am I? What direction am I in? How do I know what direction? Go ahead, Classic.
I think it failed because of the extension.
No. What direction? What direction am I? What direction am I in?
You failed because you put Debo.
Debo02.
No, I'm trying to delete a file. This is a directory. This Debo02 is a directory. How you right here?
But you put Debo.txt.
Because I want to delete this file.
Yeah, it's because you. I don't think with Debo02 you can do that. You can do that with Debo flavor.
Wow. Okay, guys, what directory am I in? How do I know what directory I'm in?
Debo02.
And Debo02.
What's the
PWD first.
PWD. Okay. So what directory am I in?
You're inside Debo02. Can you ls?
Okay, let's ls. Are there any files in here?
There's no file in Debo02.
So why would I be trying to remove debo.txt when there's no file in here? Where is debo.txt located?
The previous directory.
How do I go to the previous directory?
cd dot.
Okay. What do
ls.
I do? ls-ltr. Where's debo.txt?
So we have debo.txt there.
In here. So if I do remove debo.txt, it's gone now. Is that clear? What just happened? You cannot delete a file unless you're inside of that file or unless you use the absolute path of that file. Let's do it again. These commands that I'm running like this, guys, it's a every day. It's a every day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 8 to 3 p.m. You're like this on the black screen running commands. This is the job, eh? This is the job. This is it. This is what you'll be paid for, running these commands every single day. This is the job. This is it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This is it. If you're able to run this command on those commands, you're good. Oh, we have an issue, we needed to resolve it. You log into the server and you run these commands. Okay, I'm in Debo now. ls-ltr. Okay, the file is inside Debo02 directory. That will tell you that the file is in there. Debo02. You go in there, you list it. Oh, there's no file in there. What are you talking about? Oh, sorry, I forgot. The file's in Debo direction, not Debo02. You do cd ... you go back. When you go back, you make sure you're there. Then you list. Oh, I found the file. Thank you so much. Okay, no problem. Enjoy. You see? They told you the file was in Debo02. You went there, the file was not. You went back to Debo. They said, oh, it's in Debo. You check, you saw it. Without those commands, you won't be able to figure it out. Okay, the direction that is causing the issue is, they tell you, okay, I'm gonna run a du-h-ah. Oh, but none of these files are consuming any disk space. Oh, the files are empty. They're just empty files, so they're not consuming any disk space. Okay. If I open one of these files and write something in there, it will consume some space. Okay, let me do that. If you want to write to files, what do you need? You need super privileges. Sudo tests.sql. Sorry, sudo via. You need a via editor. It's a text editor.sql. And you do insert and you write, this is my first file. Escape, column, write, quit, exclamation mark. This is how you save a file. Escape, column, write, quit, exclamation mark. You've written to the file, you've saved it, now you want to quit out of the file, hit enter. And now if you do a du-h, you have written to this file, 4 kilobytes has been consumed. This is how you troubleshoot on the job. Now if I do ls-ltr, this is the file that was written the most recently. So when you go on the server and you're checking things, you can see which file was modified recently. If the user say, oh, we had an issue at 0135, you can go see that as 0135, that file was written to by an application user. An application user is a user that takes the customer request from the internet and writes the application. So you can go open up that file and see what the application user did on this server and troubleshoot the issue. You can also, when you list your logs, let's say you do like sudo ls-ltr /var/message log /messages. You list it, well, it's a root file. You will list the files in time, right? In time structure. So now clear your screen. What do you, when you clear your screen, what's the first thing you do again? You list the files. Now they say, okay, the file that is causing the issue is the file that doesn't have an extension. Which file are we going to remove?
test01.
So we're going to do rm remove test01. And it's removed. In Linux, when it doesn't return an error, it means the command worked. If it returns an error, it means the command did not work. Take note, in Linux, If it returns an error, it means the command failed. If the command did not work, it means if the command did not return an error, sorry, it means the command successfully worked. What's the next thing we'll do after I remove that test server one? What do we do to check, make sure it's gone? ls-ltr. It's gone. If we create a new file, test02.txt, and we'll do another ls, that's the most recent file. Okay, how do we remove all the files here, including the directory? In the command, it says what? rm-r for the directory name, or rm-rf directory name, remove a directory without requiring confirmation. If you remove this -r directory name, it will ask you for confirmation. -r means recursive. You're going to see a lot of -r in a job. -r means recursive. Remove a directory recursively. It's asking you for confirmation. If you don't want any confirmation, you can use an rm-recursively false. F stands for false. Remove recursively forcefully. Recursively remove a directory without requiring confirmation forcefully. So you just type rm-r, you do star. If you want to delete everything here. ls-ltr, it remove everything, including the directory. Including the directory. Star means everything. Okay? If I do create another directory again, last-1, that's a directory. I can do an rm-rf star, and you remove it. This is a bad command to use. Do not use rm-rf because you can delete everything. Let me create 2 more files. Touch test01.txt, test02.txt, test03.txt. ls-ltr. Boom, you have 3 files. That's how you can create 3 files at once. You can keep going. They can create 3 directories at once. mkdir, Ebo, Oasi, Isabel, Rick, Kobe, Elvis. So directories. Clear my screen, ls-ltr. So if I want to delete Kobe directory, I'll do an rm-r Kobe. This is the best practice so that you know what you're removing. Don't go remove star. I'm a coach that I will show you the bad thing and I'll tell you not to use it. So that you don't go on a job and you did it because you Googled it. I have shown you the bad practice and I'm showing you the good practice. This is the right thing to do. rm-r directory name. I remove that directory. Do not use star. Never, never use star. You're going to get yourself fired because you're going to remove everything in that directory that you were not told to do. You heard it here first. ls-ltr, Kobe is gone. What command should I type to delete the test02.txt file? Somebody, please.
Is it rm space -r space test? You said O2, right? O2.txt?
Yes.
Okay.
That's correct, but you were asking me. You had to answer, not ask me. I'm kidding. Who wants to delete the quasi directory? What command would you use to delete the quasi directory? The only way I know you're understanding this stuff is if you respond to me, you speak in class, guys. I don't know. Some people don't speak in class at all, and they expect that, they are ready for interviews or they're ready for, a job. Like, you're not ready. If you can't talk here, you're not going to talk on the job. Honestly speaking, don't bother. Don't waste your time. If you can't speak here, I guarantee you cannot speak in front of people that you don't know on a job that is paying you $150K. You have never spoken in front of people. How do you expect yourself to go speak in front of people for the very first time when you haven't practiced here in front of people that you really know? Who wants to lead a quasi directory? Anybody want to give me the command?
RM space dash R space quasi.
Nice. What about Isabel directory? Isabel, delete the directory. Give me the command.
RM space dash R Isabel.
Okay. Elvis, delete your directory.
RM space dash R. Elvis.
The guy.
Let me try it. Yeah, it's gone.
Rick, delete your directory. He's not there. Debo, delete your directory. RM-R Debo. Who wants to delete the remaining files? What's the command delete the remaining files? I don't want to type. I don't want to use star. I want to just delete them one by one. What's the command?
RM
Test
01.txt.
Good job. And the last file?
RM dash test 03.
There's no dash. There's no dash. So just RM test.
I mean to say space. Sorry.
You don't even have to say space. That's another thing, right? People on the job know that you're supposed to have a space, right? Whenever you have RM, it's supposed to have a space. Whenever in Linux commands, whenever you have RM, you're gonna have a space. Whenever I have ls, it's gonna be a space. Whenever I have pwd, it's gonna be a space. Whenever I have df, it's gonna be a space. Whenever you hear dash, there's gonna be a space for the dash, right? So that's known. That's everyone knows that. So when you say, but some people you'll say space, right? Just for grams and stuff. So that's it. If I want to go back to home/issue-user, what do I do? If I want to go back to this directory, what do I type? What command do I type? cd dot dot. Don't forget that command. Okay, cool. So we want to, I don't think we don't have enough time, but we'll do this on Wednesday. But are we good with the Linux commands now? I think we've covered most of it.
We have not done a file compression.
We haven't done file compression. Yeah. All these things we're not going to do, right? I mean, file compression is important. I think we should do that one too. That's important because on the job, when you have to install software, you have to download the software using wget and then uncompress the file. So yeah, we'll do that one. Anything that you guys feel like is important here that you've gone and seen elsewhere, we can do it. We'll do it, okay? We'll do it. Okay, let's say you're connected to a jump box. You want to know who is on that server. What's the command? What do you type? You want to know who else connected to that server with you. What do you type? We did it on Wednesday last week. You want to know who's on the server with you. What command do you type?
I think it's
is a very loud place. Can you hear me? This? What's the command? It's who. That's it. It's as simple as that. Who? You want to know who you're connected as to a server? You type, who am I? Your EC2 user. If you want to know who else is connected to the server, you just type W. You can see who was connected to the server, how long has been connected to the server, how long is the server's uptime, how many users, the load average, the CPU that connecting, all that stuff, the login time.
What's the difference between who and ID? Active users.
Where is seeing that from?
There's ID
Where?
for active users,
Details.
and there's who for connected. What
Where are you seeing that?
It's on users and group.
under users? Users.
Oh.
Like what active scenario on the job can happen where you need to
The
see
second, yes.
you could
see
differentiate
details about active users. Like I said, right?
Yeah.
You're working in, guys, you're going to be working in a shared environment. You're not working alone. You're working in a team. You're connecting to a Bastion host to connect to this server. Other people are connecting as well. So when you connect to the Bastion server, you want to see who else is connected as you, connected to the server as well, right? Let's say you're doing some work and the work is going to consume so much memory. You're sending commands to here. You want to see who else is connected. It's 2 p.m. in the afternoon. So you're going to run this command. Who? That's your connection. Then W will show everyone connected to that server. You can say, oh, Elvis, I see that you have been idle for 2 hours. Please, can you disconnect on the server? I want to do some work on the server. Oh, okay, yeah, let me disconnect. Cool. Disconnect, go ahead. So now you start doing your work now. You're consuming all the CPU memory. You're not affecting Elvis. So ID will show you your specific user details, what group he belongs to. He belongs to the EC2 group. What is his ADM, his wheels, system journal, so much information about you, the user connected, about you on user. You're an active user right here. This is your UUID. This is your unique ID for your user. This user, this is his unique ID, not unified ID, unique ID. This is his GID. This is his group he belongs to. All these things is just additional information about that user. You're rarely gonna use that. Never, ever you're gonna use that, right? And then you have the last. So the last system logins. Last time people were logged in, that's it. System just came up at what time? On Tuesday, which is 6 hours ahead of it, right? Still logged in, still running. This one is a good one to know. Who logged in? Who last logged into that jump box? Who last logged into this server? I want to know. Maybe someone logged in there and stole information. We want to know who last logged in. The system tracks it. It shows you last time. So we logged in at this using this IP address at this time, and we're still logged in. The operating system rebooted, and it's still running. We logged in from this IP address, and we're still logging. That's why if they want to trace us, they can go trace our IP address that we use to log in. This is a public IP. This is a public IP address because we're on their internet. WTMP begins at this time. Okay? Right here. The session began at this time. Okay? Okay, cool. So if you look at who, display who is currently connected, W, finger, and username, show information about that user, sudo, create new user account. We'll look at these ones as well. So we've done system management processes, we've done some files, some networking, we've done some navigation. This one is very important. Navigation is very important, right? CD direct path. This is the most important one. This that navigation is very important, guys. I cannot stress how much this is important. If anything is important in the whole of this sheet, this is the most important thing, because this is your everyday. This is your just navigating the server. It's your everyday. Go to this file, check this thing, go here, check this. This is every day of your life. Every day of your life, you're going to run these commands. Every day. Hopefully, you're not troubleshooting every day, all week, right? You have some meetings, you have some monitoring to do. You're not just troubleshooting every single day of your life, right? That's not a good job, right? What was I gonna say? When you're doing this installation, you're gonna use some of those commands as well, right? Like the sudo command, you use that in this installation of this server. This is installing a server, installing a LAMP server, Linux, Apache, MySQL, PHP server. This is building a server that will look like this at the end of the day. It's a small application where you'll be able to log in with your username and password. It's a small application that we're building, very, very lightweight application that we're building. This will be the domain name for the application, right? So this will be the server name that you connect to the server, and you'll be able to see this page. You can connect to it and play around with it. So I think we'll do it on Wednesday. We're out of time right now. We'll try to do better next time, but we're doing good. We're going to a point now where once we know Linux very well, we know our networking very well, we know some security, boom, we'll start building applications and monitoring them. You don't have to do the building. I'll do the building. I'll be the DevOps engineer. You will monitor and troubleshoot what DevOps engineers have built. That's your job. Okay? So you see there, CD into this directory, CD, change directory. You see, this is absolute path. Absolute path. You see that? So it tells you everything to do. Okay? See? Remove a file. Remove a file. You're removing the file using the absolute path and the file name. So this is the absolute path for the file. For this file, PHP info, this is an absolute path. So like I said on the job, we use the absolute path. You're not going to CD into var, CD into www, CD into HTML before you do an ls and you delete this file. You just do an rm, the file path. Okay? So we'll do this on Wednesday. Any questions? Use some more commands. Find. You want to find some files, you use these commands. Find command. You have groups, you have exits. You have what you see. It's TCP connection. Protocol is TCP. The port is 80. It's HTTP, right? IP address is custom. 000 allows all IP addresses to connect to that. So sudo. Everything we're doing is sudo because while installing things, whenever you're installing things on a server, you're going to use sudo. So sudo is a superpower. Okay? Any questions, guys, before we...
Yeah, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Can we use these commands on Google Cloud as well as Azure, or do they all have their own commands?
No, it's the same commands.
Okay.
As long as you create an Azure server, as long as you have a Linux server, it's Linux, you can run the same commands. This command is worldwide. It's for Linux command. Linux command sheet. You can run it anywhere. Azure, AWS, everywhere. Maybe on what do you call it? One of these days we'll do it on Google when we get to Google Cloud. However, we have to pick a cloud that we're working on consistently, right? If that's Azure, that's AWS, Google Cloud, right? Like I said, you can be an expert only on 2. You cannot be an expert of 3 things. You can be an expert on 2 things, AWS or Azure and Google Cloud. But the most in-demand cloud is AWS. So I will say you'll be an expert in AWS and Azure, but you also know some Google Cloud as well, so that you cannot be denied. So we'll do all 3. My Google Cloud account is not set. I need to set it up myself. That's why I'm not been able to get to it. I'll get to it by Wednesday. I'll get to my Google Cloud account. So this, you see, is Linux. So you can connect to the server and run the same commands, same stuff. Let me do native SSH. Validating, come on. Validating is running. Come on now. Can't find your private key. Provide a path to your private key. It's let me provide a path for my private key. 1 second here. The downloads. It's in just /downloads. That's what it is, /downloads. Let's see if I can connect. Yes. Permission denied. Chan to specialty. What's the key pair name? The key pair is called what? What's the key pair called for this server? The key pair is called Geico server key pair. That's the key pair? No, that's not the key pair name. You guys see key pair anywhere? Key pair. Let me just search for it. Properties about this server. What is Geico app server 1? So the key is this key pair. That's a key pair name. So on my screen here, I want to connect directly from my server. ls/ltr star.pem, which is the extension. So I'll see all my PEM files. That's it. So I'll just do a chmod 400 Geico dash server dash 1 dash. I will teach you guys all these shortcut commands, okay? Then now if I just trying to do SSH downloads, I'm already in the directory. So Azure has too much security. They won't let you connect directly. That's one thing with Azure. Microsoft really trusts them. Sorry, Microsoft is really all about security. So you gotta do these steps in their environment right here. So the private key is called it's in /downloads folder /Geico. It's Geico -app -server -1 _key .pem. Move it to your SSH /SSH folder. It's there. The file is there. Star.pem. .pem. Let me just do a copy of this file. Geico server key server 1 key 2 tilde dot SSH. Yep. SSH // okay, and now schmod 400. I'll explain all of this stuff later on, okay? I want to just show you that you can connect to an Azure server and still be able to run commands on there. And it's tilde dot SSH / Geico. And then now you're able to connect to this command now, right here. So with this, the security is just powerful. It wants you to connect from putting your key pair in the .ssh folder, whereas with AWS, they don't care where your key pair is, SSH-i, and then all this stuff, right? They don't care where your key pair is, -i. So .ssh is a hidden folder. It's a hidden directory in Linux where it hides your key pair. It hides things for you. So they want you to put your key in this .ssh folder, which is, because it's is hidden, no one can see it, right? So they want you to put your key pair in there before you're able to connect. Then you enter. Now you're in the server, Azure server 1. If you do a union-a, you're in that server. So you can do a make directory in here, debo directory, and all this, touch a file, and all these things. Same commands. That's 01.txt. Same commands. rm-r debo. ls/ltr. Same thing. I'm connecting using my terminal. I might have to connect with a Windows laptop, and then I'll have you guys download this software. For Windows users, please download the software called MobileXterm. MobileXterm. It's a free terminal so that you can do what I'm doing like this, the green screen. Green screen, free terminal. Download and install MobileXterm for Windows. If you're a Windows user, you can install MobileXterm. I will show it to everybody when I connect to a Windows laptop. Okay. Do I get to everybody?
I have a question.
Yes.
I know right now in class, we have to go through the AWS website as well as the Google website to connect to the server using the portal. But on the job, how are we going to connect to servers? Is it through the...
Yeah, to MobileXterm. To MobileXterm,
okay.
the other tools that we have to start using. I wanted you guys to just be comfortable with the portal for right now, with the browser. But in the job, you're going to use tools to connect. Okay? One of those tools is MobileXterm. You're going to use tools like Putty. Putty, right? Go ahead and download Putty as well, and install Putty on your laptop for Windows users. Download Putty. So then that tool that you're going to use to connect. Okay? So I'm just taking guys step by step, right, guys? I'm not trying to go too fast or nothing like that. So download and install these two tools if you're a Windows user, right? We're also going to create Windows servers as well. Right now, I'm working only with Linux servers. We're going to create Windows servers, okay? Cool. Can we use remote desktop to connect to servers as well? Yes. You can use remote desktop to connect to servers, but only for Windows servers. Remote desktop is only for Windows servers. Remote desktop is only for Windows servers. RDP. It's only for Windows. You see, Microsoft Windows. For MacBook to connect to a Windows server, we use RDP right here. Microsoft Remote Desktop. This is a tool I'll use to connect to a Windows server. For Windows servers to connect to Windows servers, for Windows machine to connect to Windows machine, it doesn't need a remote desktop. It just connects directly because it's Windows to Windows. But for me, in MacBook to connect to Windows, I will need to use this tool called Microsoft Remote Desktop, and I'm going to add a PC, and I'm going to put the IP address, the host name, and all these things. And I'll show you guys when we create a Windows server. You see, this is a Windows server, right? That's how it looks like. Okay. All right. I know we're way above time. Thank you so much for being patient and waiting. Please go ahead and practice the Linux commands. It doesn't matter where you create your server. When you create your server in Azure, follow the steps here on the right-hand side. You see native SSH. If you want to connect directly, like I just did, or if you want to connect using the Bastion host, click on Bastion host and click connect. You see Bastion host will show you like this. Once your Bastion host has been created, it will show you like this. You will choose SSH private key from local file, which is your key pair that you downloaded. And then you will choose the username is Azure user as a name. It's in the notes. It's in the, let me close this. If you open here, the username is Azure user. It's here somewhere. It's always Azure user. It's always Azure user, guys. It doesn't change. Connect, native SSH, you see right here, Azure user, right there. So if you want to connect the Bastion, you give it this option. You choose SSH private key from local file, and then you select the file. Here is server 1. Open that file. Username is Azure user, and you click on connect, and you connect using your Bastion. I'm now connected using my Bastion. You see, I'm in Geico app server 1. Guys, when you connect to a server, you always see the server name here. If you create a new directory, mkdir debo, and you cd into debo, they will add the directory name here, but you will still see the server name here and the username here. This is so that you know where you are. Always know where you are, because people will be doing things in the development environment and they go hit rm-rf in production environment and crash the whole system. Be careful, know where you are. Always do a PWD. Know your present working directory before you run commands. Okay? All right. I love you guys. Thank you for being patient. Practice Linux commands. I cannot stress this enough, especially the navigation.
You said we should download something, put it and what?
Huh. He just woke up from sleep. I said download Putty and Mobile Extend. Right here, my guy.
All right.
Mobile Extend. I'll put the link in the chat. Mobile Extend for Windows. If you are Windows users, download Mobile Extend. It will help you a lot. This is what they use in the job. You see, you have RDP, FTP, all kind of protocols there. Or Putty. Putty is a little bit older, but some people still use it. For Windows users, download it. I will connect with a Windows laptop, and I will show you how to use all these tools. Okay? Or someone will share their screen, and I'll walk them through it, whichever one is easier. All right. See you on Wednesday.